Well, that didn't hurt, did it? We just survived the first anniversary of the flag vote at Belfast City Hall. Last Saturday, around 2,000 loyalist protesters descended on the city centre to proclaim their annoyance at political policing and the culture war being waged by Sinn Féin. Like something out of a fairy tale, the protesters stood like a bunch of big bad wolves on Royal Avenue, huffing and puffing, hoping to blow the house down, while the scant number of shoppers looked on with a mix of bemusement and indifference. I've always wondered why the majority of loyalists by now have not come to the realisation that these protests are actually doing them more harm than good. The contradictory messages, lack of clear vision, and the disruption merely compounds the narrative that they are a rabble rather than a political movement to be taken seriously. Just listen to the Nolan Show on any given morning, or go on Twitter and see the increasingly long shopping list of grievances that the protesters seem to come up with. They are a bit like Christmas shopaholics. They're quick to lift an issue off the shelf, but find it impossible to actually put it back once their grievance has either been solved or proven not to exist. And what about the images of empty streets and glum faces of traders who watch as they hear a chorus of clicks from people opting to go on to Amazon instead, fearing trouble on our streets? But I wouldn't worry, sure. Don't all noble campaigns have a few casualties at the end of the day? And it's not as if one of the protesters' main grievances are employment opportunities or anything. Then we have the great silent majority of our province, whom once again has shown that classic mix of silence and indifference that characterises most political moderates in Northern Ireland. Like latter-day Neros, they are quite happy to sit and fiddle while a minority burns down the place. Then in the aftermath they roam around the ruins bewildered, wondering how on earth they were ever allowed to do it in the first place, while they also sit and tweet about how awful it is that Lag Flag pokes fun at those who are protesting. Because of course satire and social media are what really should concern us as a society. Any anniversary is a moment for reflection, and as we pause to think about what has been achieved from these protests, the only thing that comes to mind is that as a city we're just a bit older and much poorer as a result. I've watched this movement from day one, and 364 days later I'm still confused about what the endgame is. A wise politician once said, "Come to my table with solutions, not problems." Hopefully as we approach the local government elections next May, we might start hearing some solutions to the grievances that are fueling these protests.